Hey everybody, it's Mitch, and welcome to my next video. Today we are going to be doing another Naruto character review, something we haven't done in a little while. So today's character will be Kushina Uzumaki. Um, so let's get into this. First, as always with this series, spoilers. So, if you haven't seen the show, you may want to watch it first because for one, this character isn't even introduced until pretty late into Shippuden. So, yeah. Alright, so Kushina Uzumaki. Who is she? Well, she's Naruto's mom, for one. For two, she's obviously the wife of the fourth Hokage. She's Naruto's mom. That's his dad. Kind of how that works. Um, there's more to it as well. But let's kind of start back at the beginning of her story. Um, Originally, she was brought to the Hidden Leaf for one reason. And although she wasn't aware of that, she grew up in the village of Eddies, and she was brought to the Hidden Leaf village as a young girl, where she was picked on a lot. Um, they didn't like her because she was an outsider. They didn't like her because she had very red hair. Um, so yeah, she was weird, and people didn't like her for that, and it was kind of messed up, in all honesty. Like, really sucked how she just got bullied for no real reason. Um, and no one really did anything, but she was tough, so she took care of herself. Minato just kind of watched what had happened, and she really resented him for that because she's like, "What the heck's wrong with you?" You probably agree with him. Um, Even though he never joined in, he just watched. Um, Anyways, she got bullied hard, but she fought back. Um, and then, like sometimes their older brothers. At one time, one of the kids' older brothers, who was Genin, came in and tried to beat her up, and was about and had done a pretty good job. But then she started crying and freaked everyone out, and she started wailing on him. And Minato was just watching the whole time, which pissed her off even more. Now, the whole thing with that is not really it sucks, but then one day she got kidnapped. I forget which village it was. Somewhat irrelevant. It never comes up which village it was that it kidnapped her. But then that wasn't going so good. But she decided to kind of pull some of her red hair out. She had the nickname of Tomato for a little while because of that, and then because she was beat because of the red hair, and then because she fought back, they changed it to the Red Hot Habanero because she was very feisty, and she still had that red hair that no one liked. But anyways, so she was kidnapped because of her chakra, because the Uzumaki clan does possess very strong special chakra. So they were about to get to the border, and she was just kind of ripping out her hair and leaving a trail of it, not expecting much. When Minato saved her the last second, he had recognized the trail and followed, and he took out the ninja that captured her and brought her back and told her, "Hey, the reason why I didn't step in before was that you kind of had it. I didn't really need to. It wasn't a big deal. But this time, it's a battle between nations, and also, I don't want to lose you." And he even said that he liked her red hair. So that's when things really started changing for her. She really fell for him then. Eventually, she, ended up marrying him. Um, and they ended up having a kid. Oh yeah, and she had the dream of being Hokage too, from like as soon as she came to the village, just because she wanted to be accepted. Like, see, very similar to the reason for Naruto, because they both had they both wanted to become Hokage because they weren't accepted, they were outcasts, and they didn't like that. So they like, well, everyone respects the Hokage, so let's be the Hokage. That was kind of both of their dreams. Although hers started a little before that, but um, you know, like the bullying, she wanted to be Hokage before the bullying started. But that kind of just reinforced things a lot. But yeah. So Kushina, she decided to. So after that, she got married to Minato. They had a kid, and he became Hokage. And eventually, they ended up having a child, or she became pregnant, and they ended up naming the kid Naruto. Of course, I already missed it. She's Naruto's mom. Like, so, yeah, and that's when things started getting crazy. Um, there's some things that were definitely hinted at. So as she, so it turns out that, uh, well, I'm getting ahead of myself a little. So before that, sometime, it's hard to say exactly when, but eventually she learned why she was brought to the village in the leaves, and that was because of her strong chakra. Um, the Uzumaki clan is particularly good. It's been pursued even more so than most at sealing the Nine Tails. They're very good at being Jinchuriki, and the Nine Tails is a nasty one, so you really got to be pretty tough to handle it. So she was able to do that because of her Uzumaki heritage. The previous Jinchuriki of the Nine Tails was actually another member of the Uzumaki clan. She actually the fourth Shokage's wife and most likely Tsunade's grandmother. Um, I mean, that's her the first Hokage was her grandpa. That's his wife, so makes sense. Plus, there's a lot of things about her that makes you think she's just losing my. Okay, and also the first Hokage's wife also had that diamond symbol on her head like Tsunade does. So probably got that from her. Um, anyways, that's a little bit off the point. So back to Kushina. So she talked to this woman. I literally just watched this like a couple hours ago to refresh myself for this video. I think it's Lady Mito or something. Uh, so she told they had a little bit of a talk, and she said that she needs to just be strong and get friends, and she needs something to fill the hole that the Nine Tails is going to the Nine Tails is going to place on her. So that's something she was able to do, largely thanks to Minato. Something that took Naruto a long time to figure out because he didn't have the guidance. Um, and yeah, but anyways, back to her being pregnant with Naruto. Well, it turns out that female Jinchuriki, there's a weakness. The sealing formula weakens during childbirth, and well, that wasn't as well kept of a secret as they would have hoped because things happened. Now, I'm not sure exactly the reason. I know on her way out, she did talk with another woman who had a baby. Turns out that baby was Sasuke, and she was saying that hopefully him and Naruto would grow up to be friends. But uh, by doing so, she kind of gave away to this woman, Sasuke's mother, the Uchiha clan, exactly what she kind of tipped off what was going on, that she was going into labor, especially since she was with the third Hokage's wife at the time. So that may have tipped him off. Hard to say. They don't really say for sure, but somehow they did find out what was going on, and they did mention and Itachi did have Sasuke. Uh, we'll get to this in a second. Um, that's a little bit of a conspiracy that arises around this, but let's stick to Kushina for the most part. So anyways, there's only like 4 episodes that she's really in, but she's like really dominates those. Anyways, so she gets attacked right after giving birth to Naruto. And yeah, that was Naruto ended up being taken hostage before they were able to reseal the Nine Tails, and that was a problem. Minato was able to rescue Naruto, but Kushina ended up getting taken in the process, and the seal was broken. So she stopped being the Jinchuriki of the Nine Tails. And that's a death sentence. But because she's an Uzumaki, she survived for a little bit. For a while, actually. Then Naruto, Minato came back, rescued her, took her to Naruto to be at his side. She was dying. Might as well let her live her last moments with her son. Seems like a pretty natural thing to do. Minato's a pretty good guy for that. He took off to do his own battle. So she was with them, and then he ended up having to fight the Nine Tails, and things were pretty rough with that. In order to do so, he actually had to use the transportation technique to teleport the Nine Tails out of the village, which took a lot of his chakra and left him with not a lot of options. So he brought Kushina back, as well as Naruto. Was like an hour, 2 hours old at this point, if that. So, not exactly a major combatant, considering he was a newborn who was only a couple hours old, if that. Yeah, he was pretty useless. So the Nine Tails, so Kushina put up a barrier to stop the Nine Tails. It held for a little bit. Then Minato decided to use the Reaper Death Seal to seal away half the Nine Tails chakra inside himself, and then seal the rest of them inside Naruto with the message, as well as some of his chakra and the rest of Kushina's chakra, because she was gonna die anyways. It might as putting all of her remaining chakra inside Naruto was really the best thing he could have done for her. Let her have some time with him when he got older. So he did that, and this triggered, and then they died after the sealing, and yeah, she had some last words for him, a lot of them. Minato didn't even get a talk. Then they died, and they were sealed inside Naruto. Her more so than him. And a few years later, and then 16 years later, I think it was actually to the day, Naruto was learning to control the Nine Tails, and he was struggling. And that's when the seal activated, and he got to meet his mother for the first time, and she told him this whole story. Naruto originally thought she was the Nine-Tailed Fox, its true form, and she was not happy about that. Yeah, but he quickly figured it out when, because he noticed that she said a lot, and he had been saying that a lot lately, which is weird. He never really said that much before. I don't know if that was a dub thing or what, or if they just shoehorned that in at the last second. That felt a little weird. It could have been a weird dub thing because, Naruto said believe it. I guess that's kind of close to. But anyways, he figured it out, especially when she started talking about Minato, and he'd already met him, so he hugged her, and Naruto was super happy to see her, and she was happy to see him. She got to see her son grown up. I'm tearing up a little because it's such an emotional thing, really. I literally just watched those 4 episodes to refresh myself. So yeah, but yeah, that was Minato. No, sorry, that was Minato. That was he's a major player. That's her husband, but no, that was Kushina Uzumaki. An interesting character. I feel bad for her getting bullied. That's rough. I know how that one is. But things worked out for her. She died, but yeah, would have been nice to see more of her, but really she's only in those 4 episodes. So yeah, you never really see her show up at all beyond those 4 episodes. But definitely important, and definitely some of the best episodes of the show. So that's really all I have to say. If there's anything you guys want to add, tell me what you think about Kushina, or tell me what you think about the video. I'd definitely love to hear from you guys. Also, if you enjoyed the video, if you like Kushina, please give me a like. Also, consider subscribing to the channel if you haven't already done so. We are going to be doing more of these videos, as well as a whole host of other videos. Also, if you really want, consider ringing the bell. That way you can get notifications for when new videos come out, so you don't miss anything. But that's really all. And, if you enjoyed this, consider sharing it with some of your friends that enjoy the show. But as always, I'm Mitch, and I'll be seeing you.